We can start with members of parliament walking to parliament. They can start by not using their vehicles. And that is how we can start the disobedience, among other civil disobedience that we can do. And I feel the moment we do this, maybe they will take an action. Maybe the father will finally wake up and talk to the son. Otherwise, the situation we are left in is not embarrassing, but we shall be remembered as one of the weak people who kept quiet when our colleagues are being suffocated in detention. Thank you.
Thank you for that impassioned plea. Let's hear from Marion. Marion, the handle is Big Bumper. Mariam Sonia B, if you could have her on. Mariam Sonia B. In the alternative,
Mariam.
we have 5 minutes left to this segment.
I think as she's preparing, then Right Honorable Luyombia can speak as she's preparing, because I cannot see her. Because he's on, at least he already has the microphone.
Okay, go ahead, Luyombia.
Yes, very good evening to everyone. I want to salute all the Ugandans on this platform who have gathered to stand in solidarity with the victims of injustice and abductions, including Eddie Mutwe, who was recently abducted. And I, for one, want to salute the president, who already came out and urged Ugandans abroad and here at home to rise up and protest against this injustice of Museveni and the brutal son. I think it is now upon us, Ugandans, to come out, because the president has given us a direction. There's no more of the command, president commanders, do this and that. It is upon each one of us to rise up against these injustices. We as Nakawa are victims of abductions. Recently, in November 2020, we have 2 people who were abducted in Bugolori market, and they are part of the missing 18, that is Lukwago Martin and Nalumoso Vincent. Ugandans need to know that such injustices are not happening to only people supporting NUP. You can be a victim anytime. So I only beseech each one of us to come out, to rise up against these injustices, because the president himself has given us a clear way on how we can address that. So it is upon each one of us. Let us do it within the law, just like recently we did on the anti-corruption protest at Parliament. Everyone,
Thank you.
Leader, you can rise up and say enough to this brutal regime.
Great. Joel Mirembe. Joel Mirembe. If Joel Mirembe is not here, Angela Asimwe. Or rather, if Joel can't speak. And then, yes, my colleague in production, I'll give you the last word. Okay. Wounded Ugandan. Okay, Wounded Ugandan, you are among our final 3 or 4 speakers before we close this segment. You have a minute.
Is that me, sir?
That is you. This is your handle.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, when you accepted the mic, I didn't hear you calling me. First of all, Mr. President, I have 1 minute. I'm sorry, I'm not going to recognize how much I appreciate your service. However, to the entire NUP leadership, I have some things I want to put across. Number 1, we are going to the youth elections, and we don't have the youth registrars in all parts of Uganda. My dear NUP leaders, I want to inform you that the youth registrars are not in every part of Uganda. I don't know if you know about that. We need your say on that. Number two, I request your opinion on if the MPs going to Parliament is still useful to Ugandans. We request that if MPs cannot go to Parliament, they should go to their areas and mobilize for protesting and civil disobedience and educating Ugandans on what protest vote is. The last thing is there are areas in Uganda that are weak in opposing dictatorship, like Western Uganda, where people are even afraid of contesting. We request that you organize in such areas more activities so that we can empower the people in those regions to protest. What we do today will shape tomorrow. Ugandans, the president wrote on his X account, maybe he has not verbally mentioned it, we should rise up and protest. In
Great.
whichever way you understand those words, rise up and protest, please put them into action. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Angela Asimwe. We can have the speaker taken from Wounded Ugandan and given to Angela Asimwe. Then Susan Namata. And my colleague in production will have the final word. Angela, you have a minute exactly.
I've given her
Angela, are you able to?
I don't know why she's not.
Yes, I'm able.
Go ahead, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karamaji, the moderators, and all the speakers. To me and everyone else, one of the things I want to emphasize is the continued unlawful detention of Eddie Mutwe and other political prisoners is very unconstitutional and unacceptable. What's worse is the public mockery and the psychological torment by Mohozi, who uses social media to privatize illegal detentions, undermining the rule of law. So since we've been denied to physically demonstrate, we the people of Uganda must organize and apply sustained digital civic pressure. Let's flood platforms like we've done today. Let's have coordinated posts. Let's tag international human rights bodies. Document each and everything that this guy is posting, because we know he's going to delete them. We also need to file public interest petitions and make sure that we hold each and everyone accountable. The junta and his son, we need to personally hold them accountable under international law for aiding and abetting all these arbitrary detentions. We need to remind them and all other violators that power belongs to we, the people of Uganda, and the people we are watching, we are documenting, and we are ready to demand justice through every lawful channel, online, in court, and beyond Uganda's borders. Thank you so much.
They will say Asimwe, Susan Namata, to be followed by Action Now at Clinton Mirrors, and finally the new my colleague in production will have the final word. So Susan, you have 1 minute exactly.
Thank you so much, Karamaji. Thank you so much, the host. Thank you so much, Mr. President, and greetings to everyone. Mine is a concern and a comment at the same time. This is a rhetoric, it has been recurring since the 1960s, 1970s. We have since watched and seen human rights violation. But then my question is, how do we finally break this chain of human rights violation? How are you going to tell our generations, the generations to come, that we failed to break this disease, this cancer? Mine is more of a concern. We should wake up as a generation. We should finally put an end to this. We should finally put an end to this, to all these terrible actions against humanity. Now we have phones, we have the internet. We can use this internet. We can advertise everywhere. We can show the world that we are in terrible human rights violation happening in Uganda. I don't know how we are going to handle it, but we have to fight hard to end this so that the generations to come, we are not going to be accountable for just keeping quiet. I don't know, but we have to do something as a generation. Thank you so much, the Wounded Ugandan, for emphasizing the youth elections. As we are heading to the protest vote, We need the youth to be behind us, and we need the youth to be involved in each and every step that is going on. Thank you so much, the host.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Action now at Clinton Mirrors. You are our second last.
The question is: someone detains you today, and you plan for protest vote. Will he allow you? My point is, let everyone begin in the villages, move to trading centers, not weekend, not next weekend, but now, whether what time, no matter the time. I am saying that it's time to end the stupidity of Muhoza and Museveni for all this long term 40 years. This is not about Ed Mutwe. This should be about every person who have gone through persecution for 40 years. We should end this, no matter the blood that it will cost, no matter the time it will take. We must take action. The people who keep saying, President, we need your order, he already issued the order. You have to start everywhere you are. Coordinate with the people you have, wherever you are. It's not about you. You don't need to be in Kampala, anywhere, because this is a national issue, not a Kampala issue or Mbarara issue. So start everywhere you are, and tomorrow, it's very good. Make sure you do not allow any person to be taken by police in any way. We are tired of this and has to come to the end. Members of parliament must step down. Me, I am saying, because they are not representing us if they cannot come in forefront. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clinton. Nkunyinji, you have a minute. Nkunyinji, 1 minute. Okay, Nkunyinji appears to have a problem. My colleague.
I don't know if I'm now through.
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
Well, I want to thank the president and all contributors. And as members of parliament, we associate ourselves fully with the position of the party, and we listen and take keen interest in all the concerns and voices from the public, the masses, and all of you globally. It is a calling for all of us to join hands and all efforts to ensure that we have a country where there is respect for the rule of law, human rights protection, democratic governance. Issues of kidnap now, as we speak about the kidnap, torture, and persecution of Eddie Mutwe and the other political prisoners. Just a few days ago, led by our leader of opposition, the Right Honorable Ssenyonyi, we visited a number of political prisoners, and you could hear them narrating stories of torture, even amidst detention at prisons, which would be gazetted places. Still, there is detention, and equal as members of parliament, we have not been immune to the persecution. Just in Kawempe by-election, I was among those who were kidnapped in a drone. I was personally beaten at Wandegea police station before a police camera. So even would be gazetted places, there's persecution and torture. We must join our efforts. We associate ourselves and as Mwada and as a member of parliament and as well as a shadow minister. And equal on behalf of all members of parliament, we associate ourselves with the position of the president, the party, and listen and take an interest in all your concerns. We must join efforts and we commit to do so. I thank you.
Thank you, Nkunyinji. The final feedback from the floor, even though he's in production, will come from my colleague who's handling the back room. You have a minute as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrew. And Mr. President, I salute you, sir, and every leader from our secretariat. I want to appreciate Mr. Action. He pretty much spoke my words. Mr. President and the leaders, we have over 57 MPs, and out of maybe 57 MPs, about like say 10 of them dropped. But the rest of the members that we do have, they have their different constituencies. The problem that we have is that most of the organizations that we do them within the central. How about the other parts of the country where we have much influence? To me, if we do spread our hands and we're able to start something in Ajumani, something in Jinja, something in Mbali, something in Western Uganda, something in the South, and something in the Central, we spread and we break through, I believe we should be able. So let every member of parliament, they were elected by their people, the people that did trust them. So if they get them that mandate, they should go back and start something. Through that, and also regarding the command that you made, you already made a command. Whoever is on here and is waiting for the president's command, the command was made. If you read up that command, we should be able to take on the action. So I'm calling upon everyone. Let us not relax. Let us go out and let us encourage people from the original places where we all come from so that they can start off something. Yeah, that is pretty much. The rest of the other things have been spoken. Thank you so much, sir. I salute you,
Spot on.
Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. It now falls on myself and Dr. Nalukoola to invite responses from the panel. And Honorable Chagulanyi, for your benefit, the questions revolve around, I will not restate them, they are about 4 broad areas. 1, youth elections and participation, readiness to engage in the process. Number 2, what actions forward should be taken in light of what some people feel is the exhaustion of a template that perhaps is tired or has now become monotonous. We also have a question here for you from us as co-moderators here. What lessons should Ugandans draw from South Africa, Kenya, Sudan, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, where people power has surged to the fore against repressive regimes? And finally, for now, public discourse in Uganda is now rife with the divisive questions of ethnicity, social class, religion, which have been used for divisive purposes. What is your take on this delicate but very real issue? These questions fall largely on you, Honorable Chagulanyi, but your colleagues could come in and assist with responses. Over to you. I hate to be Stalinist about this and give you just 6 minutes to give a response. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Brother Andrew. I've listened keenly with pain to all the speakers, and I'll endeavor to fit within the time allocated to me. Largely, we tend to be shining a light on the plight most of the times, which makes us sound like crybabies. But before you solve a problem, it's important to repeatedly state it to the people so that they can understand that is the problem. I'm glad that everybody understands the problem, and now they're tired of speaking about the problem. They want a way forward. In my humble perspective, number one, the first step to a solution is to realize we must realize that we are on our own. We, the people of Uganda, are on our own. You've seen what is happening. You saw how people were moved, those who matter and those who think they don't matter. You've seen the response and attention given to it by our leaders, the cultural leaders, the religious leaders, and very unfortunately, we got also a tragedy that made us realize that actually these people are attentive on what's going on in the country. They just choose what to respond to. So we must realize that we are on our own. Having realized that we are on our own, we must unite. All of us that are affected by what's going on in our country, we must unite. This is not an NUP issue. We might be taking the lead, but everybody is a potential victim here. So we must unite against evil that affects all of us. Having united, then realize also the situation at play in Uganda. While everybody is saying hit the streets tomorrow, NUP organize this and that, we must understand that unlike Kenya or Europe, unlike Europe or even Kenya here, where people have the little liberty to go to the street, our people are still healing from the disastrous memory of the 18th and 19th of November 2020, where the Museveni military unleashed terror on the people of Uganda and killed many. So people want to come out, but also are cautious in many ways. So my call is constant. Rise up and take action in your possible way, in your ability. Act in your numerous abilities. Those that can go to the streets, please do that as soon as now. Others that can protest in various ways, please go ahead right now. You saw that we were supposed to yesterday we were supposed to address a press, but the SFC surrounded our headquarters, blocking us from even addressing a press conference or even gathering. As we speak right now, you see that we had to be hosted by NUP diaspora because our internet is constantly being messed with. That is where we are. However, we must fight back in any possible way. Brothers and sisters, you don't need permission to fight back against evil. I hate to hear people ask me to give an order. You don't need my order. I'm your fellow victim. However, if I must remind you, you have the permission and right. You don't need permission from anybody to fight back in any possible way. I must tell you, my brothers and my sisters, it is different ways that are going to do. Of course, I constantly say we do it non-violently, at least for us. Yes, Museveni and his friends picked guns. And if a group of young people today asked for my advice on that, I would say I cannot encourage you, but I cannot stop you either. This is time to fight for our liberty by any means necessary. We choose non-violence because we know that by doing that, we are denying Museveni justification to murder us. We've asked leaders to lead in different ways, and yes, they're doing it in different ways. I must also add that in Kenya, the Gen Z succeeded because they came off as leaderless. They they did not tag their protest to anybody, and they also did not have any particular place that the regime did not know where to stop them. So we must be fluid. We must do it different because the regime is convinced that when they surround Bobby Wine's home or surround the homes of those that they expect to lead the action, then they will thwart it. We have to do it different. I've told the people of Uganda that any one of you can be a Chagula and you know exactly what to do. Go ahead and do it. You will be followed because everybody has had enough of this regime. They won't know who to stop. Do what you can and do all you can. You can start small, but be sure that when you start where you are with what you are, it will go on and on and on, and they won't know how to stop you. I must also advise brothers and sisters not to fall into the trap of tribalism. Museveni and his regime have survived by dividing us along tribal lines, whereby if you are convinced that Museveni is looking out for your own tribe, then you're going to be blind to the impunity. You're going to be blind to the corruption until it kills you. So don't fall in the trap of corruption. I know many people are banning, especially those that are not Banyankole. But I want you, my brothers and sisters, to know that this is not Banyankole versus the rest of Uganda. This is the Museveni family against the rest of Ugandans. He is trying to put the good people of Ankole into harm's way by posing as if he is torturing on their behalf, as if he's killing on their behalf, as if he's stealing on their behalf. And we must resist that. We must resist that because unity is a weapon that he wants to snatch out of our hands. I want in the same breath to call upon my Banyankole brothers and sisters to disassociate themselves with this evil that Museveni's son is using to misrepresent you. Please disassociate with that tribalism because that's not who you are. I want to call upon the elders, the leaders, religious and traditional leaders, to raise their voice in such a sensitive time. And I don't know, I know we have brothers and sisters that are online here. I don't know, Andrew, if you will allow me to read to brief this in Luganda just for our local people down here.
Please go ahead.
Yes, neyanza sebo neyanzege manyi nti tulinako baganda baffe bangi nnyo Jamshidi tankubye kama naye manyi kijamukolera bwe mbiddamu mu Luganda ne mbitaanya ne ngamba otusinkana ku mikutu nga gino ne twogera ku bizibu byaffe ebiseera ebimu abantu ne bagamba tudda ku mikutu kaaba bizibu byaffe kwogera ku bizibu baagala solution kirungi nnyo nga tonnatandika kufuna ansa yakuddamu ekizibu n'okiddiŋŋana abantu ne bategeera ekizibu ekiri ate ne bakkiriza nti kizibu kyetaaga okutereeza kirungi nnyo nti kati buli munnansi alaba ekizibu ekiri ababadde tebannakiraba bakiraba kati bwe kibadde kitannatuukako kimutuuseeko kiki tulina okukola sitepu esooka kwe kumanya nti tuli ku lwaffe mujja kukiraba baganda bange nti olunaku lwaleero bannayuganda muli ku lwammwe tonnaba kuwulira maloboozi ge wandisuubidde nti ge galina okusitula okwogera ku nsonga eno eweebola kino tekibangawo kiri unprecedented tekibangawo mu nsi yonna ti omuduumizi w'amagye akutta omuntu avuganya owa opposition nga talina musango gwonna gwakoze naye kubanga tamwagala n'amutulugunya amagye ne gamweganda naye n'avaayo namukuba n'ekifaananyi ng'ali bwereere n'agamba wa wuuno mukole kye mwagala so ekyo kitulage nti tuli ku lwaffe bw'oba tonnaba kuwulira maloboozi mangi nnyo agava mu bakulembeze ab'eddiini n'ab'ennono then tumanye nti tuli ku lwaffe kitegeeza ki kitegeeza nti tulina okwegatta ffenna tulina okwegatta kubanga okwegatta ge maanyi buli muntu yenna yenna ali mu bulabe so tulina okwegatta era mu kwegatta kuno njagala nnyo tuleme kwegatta nti kino kibiina kya NUP eno ensonga si ya NUP eno ensonga ya buli munnayuganda yenna oba oli muganda oba oli muteesa oba oli mukyoli oba oli munyankole wenna kisobola okutuukako oba oli wa NUP oba toli oba oli wa opposition oba toli kisobola okutuukako so eno ensonga tugitunulire nga bannayuganda ffenna ffenna ate n'ekirala bw'oba olabye ekikyamu teweetaaga lukusa lwa Kyagulanyi sikulimbira kugamba nti Kyagulanyi vaayo tulagire balagire okulaba ebikyamu mbiraba then buli omu osobola okukola ky'osobola okukola era mu kikole tetulinga Kenya gy'osobola okuvaayo n'otandika kwekalakaasa mu ddembe kubanga bano abasajja mu butiitizi bwabwe babeera batutunulidde naye tusobola okukozesa engeri zaffe ez'enjawulo eziri creative kitandikira ku internet ne kivaayo ne kidda ku street mu ngeri zonna ez'enjawulo musobola okukozesa engeri eziri creative wankona okwerwanako mbeera nkiddiŋŋana nti tetukozesa violence wabula ate era sigamba nti abaagala okwerwanako mu ngeri yonna yonna okwetaasa ebikolobero ebibakolebwako timbagane buli mumu wa ddembe okulwanirira obulamu bwe ekya succeedings abantu b'e Kenya kubanga gavumenti yaabwe teyali ng'egenda gamba nti kati tugende ku kitebe ky'abano no abantu baasituka mu nsonda ez'enjawulo nga tebalina bwe babastopinga ebiseera bingi nnyo gavumenti ya Museveni baba bamanyi bwe tusiibako ekitebe kya NUP nesibira ne Kyagulanyi ewuwe tuba tubistopinze ku mulundi guno temukitwala nga kya NUP wabula kya buli munnayuganda asobola okwolwanako mu ngeri ye musobola okutandika empola nekigenda nga kikula osobola okukola ky'olina oba oli ku social media oba oli ku street wonna w'oli mu Uganda n'okwetoola ebitundu eby'enjawulo byonna buli omu n'akola ky'asobola naye njagala obbasaba baganda bange temugwa mu katego k'okubasosola mu mawanga kubanga Museveni buli wakola ebikolobero afuna babyambaza kakati mutabani wa Museveni ebikolobero bye ayagala byambaza abanyankole luno si lutalo wakati w'abanyankole n'amawanga amalala mu Uganda luno lutalo wakati wa Museveni mutabani we ne bannayuganda bonna era n'abanyankole babonaabona nga bannayuganda abalala bonna temukkiriza akakundi ak'abantu abatono okasiiga tribe yonna kuba anoonya bakisiiga ayagala okuteekawo ekifaananyi nti bwabba mu linnya ly'abanyankole bw'atemula mu linnya ly'abanyankole temukkiriza muntu yenna baawula nsaba ne baganda baffe abanyankole abalina emyoyo emirungi baveeyo beesambe ebikolobero mu Museveni ne mutabani we bye bakola bikolobero bye abanga agezaako bakyayisa mbasaba mu byesambi kubanga ensi bamanyi temuli bantu babi muli bantu balungi temukkiriza muntu yenna basibako matugambuzi kubaliisango nsaba n'abakulu ab'amadiini abakulu ab'ennono ne ba elders abasajja n'abakyala abakulu baveeyo batangaze ku nsonga eno eggwanga lyaffe lisigale nga liri wamu. Andrew, you ask me the lessons we learn from Sudan and Kenya. It was, and that is why it succeeded. Don't tag this to me. Don't tag this to NUP. Tag it to the people. Let us see people power at work. Thank you very much, Andrew. Hopefully, I've been able to respond to all your questions.
Articulate and spot on. Thank you very much. And also for the translation. I will not provide a translation because you spoke in both languages. Abanyankore kanyisije mwahurra abagira ngo twejura amatu Museveni agakwenda kutusiba hamwe n'umutabani we kwenda kutujwanzya bikorebe byakora abantu abana Uganda. So twena tucejure twatanse hamwe na Uganda yona n'abateso n'abarango bona twatanse hamwe twenurure nkihanga. Thank you very much. The final question will be posed by my wonderful co-moderator, Dr. Judith Nalukoola. Please pose that question. It is to be fielded by Honorable Chagulanyi, and we will bring this to a close thereafter.
All right, thank you so much. My president, I'm going to ask you the last question, and this is a question of hope to Ugandans. I would love you to paint a picture for the audience of the kind of a country you aspire to build, you as a presidential candidate. What do you aspire, the kind of a country you want the rest of the Ugandans to live in?
Thank you very much, Dr. Nalukoola. And before I answer the question, I want to salute you for the activism. I follow you online, you and many other leaders that we have. We have Dr. Morgan, we have Dr. Nambasa, we have Natabi, Margaret, and many of you young people. I must tell you, our generation is proud of you, and we derive so much hope from the works that you do. Now, the kind of Uganda that I envision is the exact Uganda that General Museveni talked about when he was my age. The past few days I've been watching General Museveni talking about the things that are happening, only that he talked about them. He talked about them in 1986. He one time said that he will not preside over a country where people get killed and nobody can tell who killed them. That is the Uganda I want. He said that even if it's your child, when somebody does wrong, somebody has to take responsibility. That's a video that I saw on TikTok just yesterday. Unfortunately, it's not happening now. He talked of a country where when people treat people wrong, especially soldiers, when soldiers torture people, kill people, they have to be punished promptly and adequately. That's the kind of Uganda I envision. Briefly, a Uganda where everybody is equal before and under the law, where institutions work and they perform their functions, where the military is guarding our borders and maintaining security for our country, where the police is guarding people and their property and is a police service, not a police force, where there is justice. Justice is not for sale, where justice is served promptly and adequately, where hospitals work, where doctors like yourself are supposed to be in a hospital now